Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please stand for the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets went clear, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our land was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Before you're seated, I would ask that you join me tonight in a moment of silence for those who are serving in our military, at home and abroad, those who have served in our military, and to give thanks for our food tonight in your own, as you would do it in your own faith. Thank you very much. You may be seated. You know, I've said throughout our conference that I have been blessed to have two very special friends who've helped me as conference co-chairs for this event. I would be remiss tonight as we wrap up our conference with our Pollie Awards dinner if I did not formally recognize Lorena Chambers and Doc Schweitzer, and I'd like to ask them if they would join me on the podium at this time. I'd asked someone to not make sure Doc didn't have too much to drink. You can tell by what he's got in his hand that they were not listening. No.
That's got to be you. That was a guy. I hope it's not me.
I got a question for everybody. Have you had a good time? Well, this is why we have the conference, so that you all, the members of our association, can learn, enjoy one another's company, and to celebrate our membership in the AAPC. And there's no way I could ever thank the two of you enough for what you've done.
Oh, yes, there is.
But I'm doing it in my own special way, and I'll let you assume what's in these bags, but you all have seen these red bottles. Take that home and add it to your closet.
Do I have to drink it all right now?
No, don't do that, Doc. I didn't get the iced tea poured in there like you asked me to. Hold them up and let them get a bottle snapshot of you. Give me one more, and I'll get it with it. I'd like to ask Doc if he would to recognize tonight's dinner sponsor.
Am I doing that?
You're doing it. You're the man.
Hi. I want to thank the sponsor of tonight's dinner, Ion Media Networks. They're terrific. Paying for this food. They asked me to introduce them, and I've been drinking, and they don't understand. I'm like the honey badger. I don't give a shit. But I want to thank all of our sponsors. But here's why it's terrific. They have a terrific network, and I will use them, and I will spend money with them, and I would not have known about them if they were not an exhibitor. And the way I found out about them, I go to all the exhibits, I check everything out. Well, the truth is, what I do is I go through and I steal water bottles and pens and anything from the exhibitors. I'm like sort of a klepto. And while exhibitors are talking to me and I'm eating their chocolates, I don't hear a word. I mean, I'm just shoving chocolates in my mouth and everything. But the best thing about Ion Networks, and what I really like about them, is they have balls. And I like a company with balls. They're softballs. Really softballs. And people, anybody here knows that I like playing with balls, playing with my balls. And they were sweaty balls that is citrus flavor. And so I support Ion Network because I like companies with balls, big balls. And I would like to introduce, is Rob here? You coming up? A company with big balls, and that's what we like. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We asked Doc to introduce us because he is a honey badger, and we like what he has to say. And I want to thank him, as does Bill O'Shea, who's my partner here tonight, for that warm and fuzzy introduction. We also want to thank the AAPC. This is our first conference. We hope to be here for a long, long time. Thank you. And we want to congratulate all the Pollie winners. We have a couple winners at our table, and they promised us that they're going to give us an award so we can carry it around tonight in downtown Austin. And with that, I just want to let you guys know we're new. We're relatively new. We're a network that's about 2.5 years old. We do something unique, which is we can give you the opportunity to advertise on TV, locally, regionally, statewide, nationally on a broadcast network, nationally on a cable network. And as our folks at the TVB said this morning, television is still the best way to get your message across, and we believe in that. So we're going to, thank you, we're going to bore you with a 20-minute video, no, only a minute video about what we're about. And if you have questions, we're in all the booklets. Give us a call. We'll be calling you if you don't. Thank you very much.
Ion Television positively delivers.
Okay, guys, let's get them.
Ion Television's reach delivers with 56 local DMAs, 11 statewide networks, 31 states, and over 100 million homes.
Sounds delicious is what it sounds.
Ion delivers quality programming.
Hey, how you doing?
Engagement.
Just like that. You did it.
And performance.
Plays to my strengths anyway.
Ion Television is the best platform for political advertisers. We deliver coverage, flexibility, engagement, retention, and limited duplication. Partner with us to achieve all your political advertising needs.
Ion Television.
Ion Television.
Absolutely, positively
Delivers.
I'd like to take a moment, if I could, to acknowledge those who've made our conference such a special time with flawless execution. Bill, your team on the soundboard, thank you for turning the mic on. Elena Joyce, our executive director, would you stand up, Elena? Please stand up. Alicia Reeves DeWitt, would please stand up, Alicia. Bruce Wardle, where are you, Bruce? I can't see because they got me blinded with light. I know you're in this room someplace, but please stand up with AMG, our association management company. we thank you for being the professionals that you are, and we want you to know how much we appreciate your service. I'd like to thank my family because they've put up with a whole lot for the last several months. Would I have a new appreciation for what happens when you become president of the AAPC? All of a sudden added to your schedule or seems like endless conference calls and lots of responsibilities. But Allison, you and Jamie, I appreciate you being here tonight. I love you both very much. And I'd like to invite to the podium one of our former presidents, who's now chairman of our foundation board, to recognize the winners of our Student Pollie Awards. Wayne Johnson, would you come up, Wayne?
I'd ask if Garrett and Bart and Josh and Noah, if you start headed up here as well. I got to get closer. All right. One of the things we've tried to do over the last, actually the last 10 years now, is to encourage cooperation between the AAPC, those that are active in the business, and the universities that have programs to develop people who will fill our shoes at some point in the future. And there are a number of universities that have robust programs. We have a Student Pollie competition, and this year a great entry came that on behalf of, it would have been on behalf of Tim Kaine, that they did a complete campaign plan, and I hope we'll post it. I hope we can post it on the website, because you guys ought to read this, what these 4 students from American University did. And are they here tonight? All right, get up, come on up here. All right, come on up here, Al. Come on. This is Garrett, Joshua, Barton, and Noah from American University, and they did a terrific job. I hope we can post it on the website. And one of the things that goes along with it, because they had to raise money to pay their way down here, and I hope that the $1,000 award that they're going to get from the AAPC to help defray their costs. But in addition, guys, the AAPC Foundation is making a $500 contribution to the scholarship fund of your program there at American University. So there's 5 of you. I only have 4 names. Who did I miss? Okay, you guys don't know who you are. All right. Joshua, Garrett, Barton, Noah.
That's right. So I'm Bart Thompson, and I'm Noah.
Aaron. Okay. You didn't hear your name, Aaron. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. And please welcome your replacements.
you know, this year we had more than 1,400 entries in our Pollie contest competition. Following last year's contest, Whit Ayers and Mark Melman helped design a survey to survey our members to see how they felt about the state of the organization and what we could do to improve the Pollie Awards or what we were doing right. And we got some good answers, and we listened to what you said. We did revamp some of the things we've done for the Pollies, which is a great brand name, I might add. And tonight you'll see the results of this first effort to make the Pollies the best they can be. My Vice President, Art Hackney, often says that entering the Pollies forces you to assess your own work, to go back and reevaluate what you've done for the past year and what you can do better. You know, we had nearly 300 people from across the country who served as Pollie judges. And the system we have now where you enter online and judging is done blind so that there's no favoritism, no buddy system to help you get a win, that you're judged on the merit of your entry and the work that you have done. And I'm very proud of that standard, and I hope you are too. Tonight, I hope that you will enjoy food and conversation with those around you. And we'll be sharing the highlights reel as you have your meal of our winners. You'll see some of the creative genius that's been referred to throughout this conference and some of the examples that have been set in the panels that we built on the program committee. I want to give a special shout out to Bud Jackson and Jim and Sensei. Would you all please stand? Bud and Jim, where are you all? Jim's a member of our board. Bud's an active member and has been an active member for a long time. These are two people who have given selflessly of themselves to help make tonight's reel possible, and I hope that you will enjoy it as you enjoy your dinner.
I had to come back. I know.
In one corner, there's the Dems. In the other,
the Republicans.
I guess I'm the only one that remains unaffiliated.
What's your name?
I'm Ed Lee.
I'm Max Phillips. This is Joe.
This is our granddaughter, Allison Lundergan Grimes.
Well, my name is Jim, but most people call me Jim.
I'm Ron Paul.
I'm Billy Nungas.
Steve Hansen.
Pat Bristol. Sandra Alberta Dynamite. Todd People for Attorney General.
What kind of stupid name is that?
He'll be fair and accountable.
Not a pushover.
He was tough, like Chuck Norris, but real.
They told me you had grit, and that is why I came to you.
Wait a minute. Who elected you leader of this outfit?
Qualifications.
Rape, murder, arson, and rape.
Take action.
Now create jobs or get out of the way.
We ain't one at a time in here. We're mass communicating.
Because that, my friend, is what Americans do.
Now go to that voodoo that you do.
You're not a victim. You're a patriot. You're an opportunist. Let's take advantage of it, okay? They don't listen to me. You know, I've been talking to these guys forever, and they still do not listen. Unbelievable. You know, all these guys want is they want more shelter, they want more feed, but yet the government's making it harder on me. They're taxing me to death. I can't afford to build that. When I don't build it, they think I owe it to them. See, all you guys want, you want a handout. I don't have something in it, now you're getting mad again, okay? Don't turn your head. I know you're embarrassed because you're part of the problem, all right? But we can turn it around. These donkeys don't live in the United States of France. They live in the United States of America. They're going to have to get with it. You all heard me talk about the Constitution. Have you ever heard of the Constitution? It's a great document. Look, if I can get Obama out of health care and we start that, I can get these teeth fixed that you got, okay? I got to tell you guys something. I'll be honest with you. It's a lot easier to feed elephants than it is donkeys, okay? And if I have to trade you in for elephants, I'll do it.
This is Joe, G.I. Joe, but you probably called him Grandpa or Poppy. He was tough, like Chuck Norris, but real. And when he wasn't wooing your grandma, he steamrolled through the Great Depression and right on across Europe. But Joe wasn't done, because if the world couldn't get it together, these guys would take over. Joe knew the international development would keep America safe and strong. So he and his buddies rebuilt Europe, roads and schools, prosperity. And his kids dug wells in the Peace Corps and took out smallpox around the world. International development made the world safe and strong. Because that, my friend, is what Americans do. This is Chris. Today, Chris is patrolling the streets and taking out terrorists in Afghanistan. Chris knows that Al-Qaeda is coming right back if these folks don't have the roads and police and schools to keep them out. Sound familiar? International development. Keep us safe, make America great. Call Congress. Tell them to fund international development. Tell them Joe sent you.
I love my son. Every morning we drive 18 miles across town to East High School because our neighborhood school is one of the many across Denver that are failing. Not every parent can do this, and they love their children no less than I love mine. I'm Michael Hancock, And I'm running for mayor because this is wrong. A high-quality school should never be a luxury. And no neighborhood in Denver should ever be left behind.
In one corner, there's online giants like Amazon. In the other, Pennsylvania small businesses. But it's an unfair fight. Local retailers are forced to collect sales tax, while Amazon's not. And since most people don't know they still owe the tax, Amazon's unfair advantage hurts local businesses, hurts jobs, and means less state dollars to fund our kids' education. Tell them to give Pennsylvania small businesses and our children a fighting chance.
This is our granddaughter, Allison Lundergan Grimes.
It's a long name.
She's running for Secretary of State, and we're writing her TV ads.
Sorry. She thinks businesses should have one website to get all the permits and licenses.
I got that idea from you and Grandpa in your clothing store.
Her Kentucky First program will help local businesses learn how to get state contracts.
So we keep the jobs here.
State government should either help create jobs or get out of the way.
What rhymes with Allison Lundergan Grimes?
Oh, such a long name.
Yes, we did.
Today, we celebrate a president that brought Americans together. Celebrate an end to our dependence on American energy.
The oil you recently discovered off the shores of Brazil, we want to be one of your best customers.
A president with the courage to tell us,
We will not rest. I will not rest. We will not rest.
who consults with key decision makers
The CEO of BP, I have not spoken to him directly.
to tackle the great challenges of our generation.
And I'm picking Kansas. I think that Kansas has more firepower.
And devised a breakthrough method to honor his promise.
To cut the deficit by half by the end of my first term in office.
Spend more.
We got to go spend money to keep from going bankrupt? The answer is yes, I'm telling you.
President Obama, 4 more years.
To balance Wisconsin's budget, seniors, nurses, small business owners, firefighters, and families are all paying their fair share. But corporations and the super rich are being let off the hook. Thanks to Senator Luther Olson's vote for Governor Walker's budget, families will pay more in taxes, but big corporations and the rich will get millions in tax breaks. Olson is making devastating cuts to our schools and healthcare programs instead of asking those who can afford it to pay their fair share. It's time to oust Luther Olson.
It seems like the government is everywhere these days, including your milk. In 1937, the federal government created a huge bureaucracy to establish and enforce milk prices. This maze of regulations and government red tape still exists. And it's costing you every time you buy milk for your family. Don't you think it's time for big government to get out of your milk? Take action at outofmymilk.com.
Some say he listens to the grass. Others say he talks to the sprinklers. He's called the Lawn Whisperer, and somehow he knows how often you should water your lawn.
This week, only once.
Or maybe he just went to SaveNorthTexasWater.com, where he learned how to tell if the lawn needs water and why you only need to water twice a week or less. See more from the Lawn Whisperer at SaveNorthTexasWater.com.
Jake Zimmerman's never been cool, but he's always been fair. That's why Jake fought to keep seniors from being taxed out of their homes. And as county assessor, he'll be fair and accountable to you.
It's simple. If the value of your house goes down, so will your assessment. I believe in fair and accurate assessments, whether your home's worth $50,000 or $5 million, and I'll never allow drive-by assessments.
Jake Zimmerman for county assessor. Cool? Maybe not. Fair, always.
I'm Ed Lee, and here's my roadmap for job creation. We'll revitalize neighborhoods like Mid-Market with companies like Twitter, attract technology, biotech, and clean energy jobs with an innovation corridor from the Bayview to south of Market. Put San Franciscans to work now, fixing our roads, schools, and parks. And grow neighborhood businesses with microloans, streetscaping, and a job squad to cut red tape. We can go great places when we come together. Follow the roadmap at mayoredlee.com.
What's up with these sorry politicians? Lots of bark. When it's showtime, whimpering like little shih tzus. You want big cuts. Ron Paul's been screaming it for years. Budget crisis? No problem. Cut $1 trillion year one. That's trillion with a T. Department of Education? Gone. Interior, Energy, HUD, Commerce? Gone. Later, bureaucrats. That's how Ron Paul rolls. Want to drain the swamp? Ron Paul. Do it.
I'm Ron Paul, and I approve this message.
Ya sé que va a ser difícil. Presentarse a una entrevista de trabajo no es el momento más feliz de tu vida. Y sin embargo, ahí viene tu hijo que te da suerte y que piensa, aunque no lo sabes, que eres la persona más trabajadora y decente que ha conocido en su vida. Y tu mujer te aprieta la mano antes de marcharte. Es tu oportunidad. Ve con la cabeza bien alta porque no estás solo. Detrás de ti somos muchos. Mira atrás y piensa en grande porque todo va a cambiar. Cuenta conmigo.
The U.S. Supreme Court will decide about health care, as it should. As Attorney General, I'm using our courts to lock up criminals.
What's Steve Simpson been up to? Bought a yacht the same year he failed to pay his property taxes. They even put a lien on his house. Simpson spent $74,000 using the state plane, including 22 trips home. Took a state-owned RV meant for disaster relief to a NASCAR race, and then wrecked it. Steve Simpson, living it up at our expense.
I worked my whole life.
Saved lives.
Fought fires.
Taught kids.
I'm not eligible for Social Security.
All I have is the pension I paid for.
But the politicians broke their promise, failed to make payments.
And now they want to punish me for their mess?
I did my job, but they want to take my pension.
Because the politicians didn't do theirs.
Anyone who thinks that's right
should take a walk in my shoes.
Don't let the politicians in Springfield cut their pensions. Go to we'reoneillinois.org to help.
Tonight we investigate the very real story of two men bonded by remarkable coincidences. We will explore the mountains of evidence that Pennsylvania Senator Bob Casey and President Barack Obama were somehow separated at birth.
Well, the irregularities between Obama and Casey are the kind of phenomenon that you typically find only in identical twins. What I find most intriguing is their uncanny ability to show up dressed almost identically.
The data could not be more clear. In vote after vote after vote, you would think they are the same person. In fact, Casey voted with Obama 98% of the time. It's almost as if they are one person.
Casey has taken up all of Obama's favorite activities, even karaoke. Or, as you see in this picture, Casey staring longingly at Obama's buttery waffles. Unfortunately, Casey's fruit plate selection has made him different than Obama. Moments later, the fruit is gone and has been replaced with buttery pancakes.
Now you know why experts and people all across Pennsylvania think Bob Casey and Barack Obama must have been separated at birth.
You missed the spot. Did someone call the fire department? Because it's about to get hot in here.
Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising.
To the Honorable William J. Lepedimint, Governor, you are the leading in the state.
Democrats promising spending cuts, but delivering only tax hikes.
Can something taste mean?
These ads are offensive to salmon.
He's demonstrating himself to be the very essence of the Washington insiders.
Living it up at our expense.
Is anybody got a dime? I don't know,
They chose not to cut the city's top bureaucrats.
We've got to protect our phony baloney job, gentlemen. We must do something about this immediately.
What's up with these sorry politicians?
Don't turn your head. I know you're embarrassed because you're part of the problem.
Oh, it's true. It's true. It's true.
Pebble Partnership is getting away with murder.
1, 2, 3.
These are people of the land. The common clay of the New West. You know. Morons.
I know you're all as excited to get to the party as I am, so if I could have your attention, please. You know, I have a bit of a reputation at home for occasionally having some language in my vocabulary. Excuse me. Thank you for whoever that was that whistled. April, you're the woman. You know, those of you who know me that and are on conference calls with me that understand that occasionally I have my fair share of salt in my vocabulary, and my wife Allison pointed out to me that perhaps I should have coached Doc a little bit better than I did in his earlier remarks. And it reminded me of a story that I had read in one of the Truman autobiographies. His wife had invited a garden club from Missouri to the White House for an event. And while they were there, she imposed on the president to address them. And during his remarks, he used a description of how valuable it was to add manure to the rose garden. And the lady sitting next to Mrs. Truman was aghast that he had used the word manure, the President of the United States. And she says to Mrs. Truman, you know, I can't believe he would say something like that. And her response was, you don't know how long it took me to get him to use the word manure. I did the best I could with Doc, okay? I would like to, before we begin recognizing our winners tonight, I want to formally acknowledge our awards committee members. I am so thrilled that the three young professionals who assisted with this year's awards committee for the first time in the leadership role they had, Anthony Bellotti, Melissa Cressy, and Whitney Hurt, have done a fabulous job. We've heard lots of discussion throughout the conference about the impact of technology on our business, and it has had a profound impact on our business and undoubtedly will continue to have a profound impact on our business. But one of the most noted examples of technology having an impact on what we do in our work as an association is the awards committee work. Whitney Hurt and Melissa and Anthony rebuilt the entire database that we use to market the Pollies. Almost all of the work in promoting Pollie entries was done on the internet. And the results of more than 1,400 entries tells you how successful we were. Congratulations and a great job. Our planning committee for the Pollie Conference, Lorena Chambers and Doc Schweitzer, who you've already had an opportunity to see throughout the week and be acknowledged tonight as co-chairs, did a fabulous job. But I want to mention the members of the people who've helped work on the program. James Aldretti. James, are you here tonight? He had been out of town, but I think he may have come back. Corbin Castile, Brad Chisholm, Brian Franklin, Art and April Hackney, Dan Hazelwood, Jason Sanford, and Chris Talbert. One of the changes that was made in our Pollie competition this year was that we decided to do the best of the best. You all want to come on up? I'd like to ask Elena to come up and help me with the awards presentation. The best of the best, the people who did the work that was exemplary in the competition. If I could have your attention, please. I know the wine's good, and I hope you enjoy it. I enjoyed mine. But through the judging process that we had in place, which again I emphasized was done blind judging, no one knew who was judging what, but the highest scores, these awards are the people who got the highest scores for their work in the opinion of the judges. For phones, Zata 3. If your entire team would come on up. For Internet, Craft Media Digital. We have four others who could not be with us tonight. For Direct Mail, Davies. For radio, Something Else Strategies. For television, Berman and Company. For overall campaigns, Richard Sales Media, LLC. I would like our officers to please join me on the stage for the presentation of the remainder of the Pollies. Our past president, now Chairman Whit Ayers, our vice president, Art Hackney, and our treasurer, Brad Chisholm. For the best use of technology in 2012, this team utilized a new online tool, social organizing, to reach more voters with personal contacts, resulting in the overturn of an anti-union bill, We Are Ohio. It's a little bit like live TV. We're doing it as we go along. For the 2012 Campaign Manager of the Year Award, the Democrat leading this effort this individual built an organization comprising of over 150 staff, a $30 million budget with a 61-19 victory, goes to A.J. Stokes. The 2012 Campaign Manager of the Year Republican, our next recipient led a stunning election victory for Bob Turner in New York's 9th District, holding together a hastily built organization and a nearly broke campaign operation. The winner is E. O'Brien Murray. The 2012 Campaign Manager of the Year for an independent campaign. This year's award, the recipient led an amazing effort to defeat Initiative 26 in Mississippi, a measure that would have granted personhood status to fertilized eggs, overcoming a 30-point polling deficit to win the election by 16 points when no one thought it was even possible. The winner is Jonathan Levy. The 2012 Campaign Strategist of the Year, our honoree, is one of the leading messaging strategists in our country and has been a leader in the marriage of new and traditional media, leveraging his knowledge of Facebook and Google. He became a master in the field, emerging as this year's winner, Will Robinson. Our next category is 2012 Fundraiser of the Year, Democrat. I have some personal knowledge of this campaign, even though I was not involved in it. It occurred in my state. This campaign fundraising team raised more than $13 million in the re-election campaign of Governor Steve Beshear. This is a record-setting amount of money in Kentucky, especially in a state that has campaign contribution limits of only $1,000. I'm especially honored to recognize this year's winner, but before I do that, I have a brief video clip from our governor that I'd like to ask the tech team to play for us.
When I assembled a finance team for my 2011 re-election campaign, I knew I needed the best of the best to ensure the campaign would have the resources needed not only to get my message out to every Kentuckian, but to aggressively respond to anything other candidates or outside groups threw at us. And with Matt Osborne, my finance director, Scott Gale, my fundraising consultant, and Sherman Brown, my deputy campaign manager, my campaign had the best of the best. Their team not only secured donations from Democrats, Republicans, and independents alike, they broke every fundraising record in Kentucky for a governor's race. Additionally, their hard work fundraising on behalf of the Kentucky Democratic Party helped elect Democrats in 4 of the 5 other statewide races last year. They helped accomplish this at a time when many Democrats across the country, specifically in southern states, were facing an uphill battle. Without a doubt, the time and energy our finance team put into our 2011 re-election effort was amazing. Their organization, professionalism, and dedication were paramount to our success, and I hope other campaigns can look to them as an example. Personally, I cannot thank them enough for their efforts, and I'm very pleased that they're receiving this well-deserved recognition for a job well done.
Receiving the award on behalf of the team is Scott Gale, no stranger to a lot of folks in this room. The 2012 Fundraiser of the Year for Republican. This year's recipient served as National Finance Chair for the Tea Party, raising over $7 million last year and another $11 million for Herman Cain's presidential campaign. And a bit more, I guess, perhaps. But this year's winner is Richard Norman. Walk up here and see her. One. Elena, come here a second. Obviously, this is a mistake over here, right?
We're doing this.
But this says Roy Robinson over here.
That's a mistake. That's what
Okay.
Give it to Richard over here.
But over here it says this.
Yeah, it was correct on the slide.
Okay. The 2012 International Campaign of the Year. We now turn to a team that managed a change local politics abroad in the same way the Tea Party did here in America. This team led an effort that upset 3-time incumbent, utilizing new tactics, and secured a win in a narrow margin of under 100 votes. The 2012 International Campaign of the Year Award goes to Abe Dyke, GMMB, and the Melman Group. Hey, Mark. The 2012 Local Campaign Manager of the Year. The recipient helped Anna Presley, the first African-American female councilor elected citywide to achieve great success in her run for Boston City Council, Jessica Taubner.
Because you look so fine that I really want to make you mine. I said you look so fine that I really want to make you mine. 4, 5, 6, come on and get your kicks. Now you don't need the money when you look like that, do you, honey?
No, I didn't. The 2012 Local Campaign Manager. Is this right? I want to make sure I'm not making a mistake. Okay. For the overall campaign of 2012 local campaign, this local campaign helped elect Sly James in his successful bid as for Kansas City mayor, managing to beat the incumbent in a 7-person primary. The winner goes to Dover Group, Mission Control, the Hamburg Company, and Global Strategy. The 2012 Most Valuable Player of the Year. I guess this should say Players of the Year. This year's MVP goes to 2 individuals who led the Juggernaut campaign on number 26 in Mississippi's Personhood Ballot Initiative. Despite being overspent and with odds against them, they came out victorious. I would ask Jordan Fitzgerald and Sarah Flowers to come forward. The 2012 Pollster of the Year, Democrat. Some have described the art of polling as the dark arts. I'm not necessarily sure I agree with that, but it has been called that. I can say this, sometimes they figure out a way to find that rabbit in that hat when there doesn't appear to be one. The elusive science of polling led to the strategy that elected Governor Earl Ray Toblins and Sly James in Kansas City, among many others this year. This individual's body of work, the Democratic firm Jeff Pollock. The 2012 Republican Pollster of the Year. This individual received perhaps more nominations than anybody's ever received for an award. It's because of his innovation and his use of compelling techniques that have made him a real winner, and he's someone that we all know very well, Whit Ayers. The 2012 Pro Bono Campaign of the Year. Every year, the AAPC honors the work of those who, for doing especially honorable work without pay, for help fostering a greater understanding and awareness in the Sikh community after 2 tragic murders. I'm honored to present the 2012 Pro Bono Campaign of the Year award to the Wayne Johnson Agency. The Public Affairs Campaign of the Year. Our next award goes to a team that serves as a catalyst for the current administration's manufacturing agenda. The award goes to the Alliance for American Manufacturing, the Melman Group, North Star Opinion Research, and the Wessel Group, and Tracy Self.
But watch how good I'll fake it. It's alright, tonight. You got me singing like, oh, come on, oh, it doesn't matter, oh, everybody now, oh, just don't stop, let's keep the beat pumping, keep the beat up, let's drop the beat down. It's my party, dance if I want to, we can get crazy, let it all out. Just don't stop, let's keep the beat pumping, keep the beat up, let's drop the beat down. It's my party, dance if I want to, we can get crazy, let it all out. It's you and me, we're running this town.
This is a special college, right? The 2012 Special Pollie for Fostering Democracy, Nonpartisan. Today in Cairo, Egypt, staff members of the International Republican Institute and the Democratic National Institute are under threat of arrest and trial because they've trained Egyptian citizens in democratic governance and political participation. IRI and NDI have trained thousands of activists around the world in campaign operations and technology. Neither IRI or NDI is affiliated with the Republican or Democratic parties, but hundreds of consultants from both parties have participated in open democratic training across the globe. We have participated in countless training programs via IR around the world. IR and NDI have lost several staffers previously in other countries in attacks, and now their team is under threat of arrest and imprisonment in Egypt. It would be a profoundly moving gesture, and it is a profoundly moving gesture, to award both IRI and NDI this award. Both programs have done more to advance freedom and democracy overseas than most other programs combined. Both serve under the umbrella of the National Endowment for Democracy. This is an honor that we feel sends to the world that the American Association of Political Consultants stands by our friends at IRI and NDI in a time of crisis. So we present this special Pollie Award to them tonight. We have somebody here. I'll take this about here. Yeah, here you go. Accepting for IRI. Our final special Pollie Award goes to the 2012 AAPC Distinguished Service Award. I've already recognized these folks verbally tonight. You know, those of us who have gray hair on our head appreciate where we were 25 or 30 years ago, but we really appreciate the passion and the enthusiasm that we see among our younger members. These three winners have all been past staff members of the AAPC. I kind of feel like they're additional children in my family. And I mean that with affection and love. Anthony Blotti, I don't guess is here tonight, but Anthony used to be our executive director, and he served as this year's Pollie Awards Committee chair. We had a record number of entries, and that speaks for itself. But Whitney Hurt and Melissa Cressy are here. If y'all would come forward, please. I have one last thing I'd like to take care of before we finish up tonight. Earlier today, we had, at our Hall of Fame luncheon, our honorees signed some books that they had written, and I want to announce the buyers tonight for Carl Rove's book, Tom Mannix. Tom, are you in the room? If you're not, we'll be happy to take your credit card at the registration desk. And Jim Spencer bought James and Paul's book. As we finish tonight, I want to say to all of you, I'm very thankful and grateful that you took the time from your schedule to come to the conference. We hope that you found it educational, entertaining, and a respite from the day-to-day work that you have. We hope that you will tell others about our Pollie Conference, and we are standing on a firm platform thanks in large part to what Whit did during his 2 years as president, the economic recovery that the association went through. We've had record-setting numbers here, and we've had a great conference. And as we move forward to grow the association, we'll be asking you again for your feedback, your input, so we can listen to your wisdom collectively and grow the association to protect free speech in America and to conduct campaigns in an ethical and honorable manner. Thank you very much.